All right, here we go. We have Detroit's finest. Icewear Vezzo's in the building, man. Welcome to VladTV.
What it do, brother? I appreciate you having me. It mean a lot.
Man, I've been seeing your name pop up like for so many years now, like consistently. Like one song gets hot, I see your name in the news for something else. And, you know, it seems like you've been building up for a while. And when I actually went through the history, I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy's been doing it for 10 plus years, consistently putting in work. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that you are where you are right now.
Absolutely. I've been grinding for so long. You know what I mean? I feel like I just had one of them slow grinds, but it's one of them situations where in the end, it all makes sense and it be worth it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come up in like days, weeks, and months, but I see a lot of dudes like come and go, moving like that. So, you know, I just always grinding slow. I intentionally really wanted to make myself a mixtapes rapper, like album rapper. So, because to me, it's like, you know, that consistency gonna be there. Like they gonna always rock with body of projects. So I wouldn't be able to get stuck to one song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it. A huge catalog now. A huge catalog with a lot of songs that have reacted and really putting in your time.
Yeah,
but, you know, this is our first time actually sitting down together, so I want to get into the whole story.
No doubt.
So you grew up in Detroit.
Yeah, I grew up in Detroit on the east side, 6 Mile and Hoover.
Okay, and what was Detroit like in the early 2000s?
Man, Detroit was wild. It's wild now, but honestly, it was a little more crazier back then. Like, you know, I felt like it was bigger for some reason. Like, nah, the city just so small to me. You know what I mean? I feel like it was way more people in the city. Like the population was bigger and everything. But, you know, for us, it was turned. You know what I mean? I love Detroit. Like everything we grew up around, like we used to go to like skate land and we always had our little picnics in the hood on 6 Mile called the Six Nick every summer. You know, it just was a lot to do. Easy to get in trouble, you know, but at the same time, a lot of opportunity for kids, you know. That's one of them big. In Detroit, like our blocks always been big, like, you know what I mean? It was a lot of families on one block. So many people live in one house, you know what I'm saying? So I had a good experience growing up in Detroit for me.
What was your family like? How big is your family?
My family big. My daddy got 19 kids, literally. Like no exaggeration. That sounds crazy, don't it?
19 kids.
Listen, no exaggeration. Like not even like, literally 19 kids. I don't even know all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But we ain't grew up in one household. You know, my mama and my stepfather, they've been together since I was 2 years old, and he got 4 kids on his own. My mama got 3 kids. You know, we all grew up in one home. You know what I'm saying? So it was like about 7, 8 of us as far as the kids go, just in one house. Then like a bunch of cousins that was living with us too. So our family was like real close, real tight knitted. You know what I mean? Just one of them families. You wake up, it's breakfast cooked, one of that type of bag. You heard?
Well, let's talk about your dad for a second. 19 kids. How many different mothers for these 19?
Man, I can't even lie. I don't even know. I know he got 19 kids. I only probably met like 4 of my brothers and sisters' parents. I only met about 4 of them. He got two with my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He got with my sister Rita, he got 3 kids with their mama. That's all I met. So I only met 2 actually. 2 baby mothers.
I mean, isn't that a little dangerous to not know all your siblings if they're all from Detroit, because you might accidentally end up dating your sister?
No, that's the thing though. All of them live in Minneapolis. That is dangerous if you're in the same city or state though, but they all in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? I was born in Minneapolis on the north side, and we moved to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in 3rd grade. First we moved, I was born there, then we moved there. My mama said I was about like 7 months. We moved to Detroit. Then we left Detroit when I was 2 years old. That's when her and my stepfather got involved. He from Detroit. Then when I got to 3rd grade, we went back.
Got it. Okay. And I'd heard that you actually started going to the studio at 12 years old.
Yeah, real life. Yeah.
So you knew you wanted to be a rapper just off the jump.
I knew I wanted to be a rapper when I was 8. I always knew I wanted to do this. Like, I feel like it was just in me. You know what I'm saying? The way I like music. My mama's favorite rapper was Tupac, so she was always banging his music. I just love music since a shorty. I used to write down other artists' songs and learn they raps because I wanted to know their music. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, my first time was when I was 12 years old. My big brother took me to the studio. You heard, we made a song, and I ain't stopped since.
Right, and your name was Lil C back then.
Yeah, I was Lil C. We doing that homework.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Lil C. Yeah. Then it was Young Vez, now it's Icewear Vezzo.
Okay, and the whole Icewear Vezzo thing kind of came together by accident.
That was literally an accident, a mistake. I was promoting a mixtape called Icewear. This when I was Young Vez or whatever. And my homeboy Mustard, he was managing me, and he used to be around Free Band Gang a lot. And Future had Dirty Sprite. So Future had changed his Twitter name. It was like Dirty Sprite. Then it had Pluto or something like that. So I'm just thinking this the wave. I'm thinking like, I guess you change your social media to the name of your mixtape for the promotion. So I changed my name to Icewear Vezzo. Then I done fucked around and got popular, and everybody was calling me my Instagram name. I'm trying to stand on it. I'm like, nah, it's Young Vez. Motherfuckers ain't going so much. Like, man, that shit Icewear Vezzo. Yeah.
Right. I mean, when I first heard the name, I'm like, all right, is this a brand that he owns and he's trying to push called Icewear? You see what I'm saying? Like a clothing brand or something? Because it was a little confusing.
I can't even tell you what Icewear mean for real. Like, I don't even, you know, I was a little young when I thought of the name. So for me, it was just, I wear a lot of jewelry, but I ain't never established that with myself. It's just Icewear. It's just Icewear Vezzo. You heard? It's just one of those type of things.
It's stuck.
It's stuck. You heard?
It's stuck all these years later.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was listening to an interview, and it said that you started drinking lean at 14.
Man, that was, you know, I don't know, interviews be crazy, people crazy. They probably misunderstood something I was saying. I knew what lean was when I was 14.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you start drinking at one point?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I started drinking lean.
At what age?
Man, a young age. I was real young, I can't remember. I know I stopped drinking it though when I was about like 20. You know what I mean? That shit fuck your body up.
Yeah, I mean, we've lost some greats from lean. Pimp C, who I got to hang out with a couple weeks. Lean? Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, it's a little fuzzy in terms of the details of it, but yeah, he died from lean.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, that shit fuck your body up. I don't suggest nobody drink that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, it's liquid heroin.
No, literally, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's an opioid, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they drug test you for heroin and they drug test you for lean, it comes up with the same thing. Yeah,
that shit ain't cool. I mean, it's just fucked up that as artists we kind of glorify drinking it. You know what I'm saying? But that shit ain't cool. There ain't really no good drug though, if you think about it.
Some are worse than others. Like you take weed versus heroin, and
I don't consider weed a big drug difference. Though. Like that's cannabis. That's a plant, right?
Well, but it does get you high.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I ain't know. Yeah. I didn't consider it as an actual drug. You know what I'm saying? Like coffee, coffee gets you high in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like anything that gets you high and gets you addicted, could technically be a drug now. You're not going to do the same type of shit off of cocaine that you are off weed. But
liquor though, that liquor terrible.
That liquor will fuck you up.
I don't drink liquor at all. I don't fuck with liquor whatsoever. I can't fuck with that shit. That shit lethal. That shit dangerous. I just can't. It just have you in a fucked up state of mind. Just make you feel emotions that might not be there, and I can't trust that type of shit. Like I don't understand how liquor is able to be legal, but weed ain't. Like weed ain't fully legal, and liquor is more addictive. You know what I'm saying? It's way bigger side effects and downfalls like alcoholism. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That shit fuck your liver up. People dying from that.
Well, liquor was illegal at one point. And then you had the whole prohibition thing that happened.
That shit been legal since 1932.
Right. But yeah, at one point it was illegal, and then all the gang wars started over it.
Nah, for sure.
Al Capone and them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Kennedy's dad. John F. Kennedy Sr. Yeah, all them had their little hands in that. Made their fortunes.
Absolutely.
During that time.
Yeah.
Well, you had said in an interview that you had 100,000 by the time you were 18, and you end up losing it all eventually.
Yeah, I lost all that shit. Yeah.
How did you stack up 100,000 at such a young age?
I mean, just being focused, you know what I'm saying? Just learning. You know, I learned how to appreciate money that I make. I go do anything like for the money. I work at a mattress shop, you know what I'm saying? I took that shit, just money from off selling mattresses. I took that and bought a Chevy on 24s. Like, you know, I was working for my uncle at the time. He couldn't even understand that shit. Like, I feel like I always been blessed with managing my money. No matter what I do or how I made it, I just was good at saving that shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's one thing to save money, but it's another thing to have the ability and the power and self-preservation to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was lacking at. I didn't really have the maintaining ability, but I had the capability of actually saving it as long as I could, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, making money is the easy part.
Yeah.
I think saving it is the harder part, and then growing it is the even harder part after that.
Way harder.
You know, how to invest it. But once you get that investment part worked out, like for me, I learned that in the stock market, you don't go back to spending money the way you used to before, because you realize that for every dollar you spend, you could make $1.50 off that same dollar. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I got real good at saving my money. I'm more responsible. You know, you got kids and shit, you really got real bills. Like, you know, when you young, when you a shorty like that, you don't really, I didn't look at my bills as a priority. Like, I had some money in my gas bill, $200, and I set that shit aside and pay that shit the very last day before my shut-off notice. It's just the priorities. You know, I think that priority, that shit come with growing. You know what I mean? I mean, like, growing as far as mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. And you have to lose it all. I mean, I've lost it all, and I've been homeless before and had to spend 10 years rebuilding and learning from your past mistakes.
Absolutely, man. I slept in the car before. Me and one of my ex-girlfriends, we was sleeping in the car, literally. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I done been homeless a couple times. One time, I had to hide that shit from my mama. She moved back to Minnesota. I was living in a vacant house. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had no lights and nothing in that motherfucker. Like, ain't nobody really know. I was lying to my brother. I told him I had a place to live and shit. He used to come over there, but it'd be the daytime. And he never really came in that motherfucker. But like in Detroit, you know what I mean? Like we got the way the laws is, if you get a vacant house, it's called squatters' rights. And you sit and you live in there long enough, and eventually you get a stove, refrigerator, and you can be able to legally get the lights and the gas and shit on. Then you got squatters' rights. That's pretty much your house. You can claim it. You know what I mean? I never went through with that full process, but shit, in my mind, that was my crib. I just never got the lights and shit on, but you know what I mean? That shit, it be times like that that just make a motherfucker like, when I do get some money this time, I'm gonna do the right thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the sting of being in that space and never wanting to go back.
Absolutely.
I feel you on that. I feel you, man. Well, you've gotten past that. Congrats.
Yeah, no doubt.
Congrats. So you started rapping at 8. You know, by 12 you're going to the studio, and then you end up forming a rap group called the Green Guys.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, the Green Guys.
Okay. And how did that come together?
My big cousin, rest in peace, my big cousin Corey. He was from Minneapolis. He was born in Detroit, but he moved to Minneapolis. We basically switched. His mama took them to Minnesota. My mama took me to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? They was doing their thing in Minnesota, whatever. They was called the Green Guys. So I wanted whatever my cousin wanted to do, I wanted to do it. Like at one point, I felt like he was my idol. You know, I admired everything about him. So I just took that name and ran with it in Detroit. And me and my homies, Webbo and my brother Sean and Tezo and Renzo, all of us just started, and rest in peace, Jeezy, we just started turning up, doing music, you know, throwing parties, stuff like that. We called ourselves the Green Guys.
Okay, but then at one point you went solo.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, and that was around 2012?
Yeah, 2012, exactly, on the nose. Yeah.
Okay, and then you put out the Clarity, which was your first mixtape.
Clarity 1, yeah.
Clarity 1. Okay, and when you put that out, how's the reaction in Detroit?
I took the city over. in real life. Like as far as the music go, I took the entire Detroit, Michigan over, and everything that surrounded, all the surrounding cities, like had it on lock. Like I got that's when I changed my name to Icewear Vezzo. That actual, you know what I'm saying, that CD or whatever. Like the response was something I couldn't even fathom. Like it wasn't even my intention to get that type of response. At this point, you know, I've been rapping so long trying to make it, and then when cracking, I kind of gave up on wanting to be a star or wanting to be famous or wanting to actually get some money out of it. Like at that point, it was just, I'm making music for me, just having fun, making music for the guys. Like, you know, when we pull up on the block, this the shit I want them niggas to listen to and vibe out to. But, you know, by the grace of God, shit just took off. And the whole city, I took the city over on the music shit, literally.
Right, and Money Phone, was that the first song that kind of took off?
Actually, it was called Got It All On Me. Then a song called Dancing. Then Money Phone. Money Phone just kind of put the icing on the cake.
Okay, and that's the song that really kind of got you in the mix and got you noticed and so forth. Yeah. I mean, how did it feel to be rapping that long and finally getting a song? I mean, it's not a huge national hit, but in your city, it's popping.
No, that was the shit. Like in the whole Michigan though, not even just in Detroit and Ohio, like Milwaukee, Muskegon, all that shit around us, it was cracking. But like for me, it ain't nothing. I ain't never compared it. When I get a blessing, I don't ask God what took so long. I just appreciate him. I tell God, thank you. I don't question why this and why that. So I ain't never really took that situation and been like, damn, about time, or why the fuck it, man. I'm like, look, I'm gonna run with this. Thank you, God. You know what I mean? But it is what it happened.
Right, and then next year you dropped the Clarity 2, and then Money Phone was on that mixtape, right?
Clarity 2 went even, like that shit was just that. It's one of them in Detroit. Clarity 2 like a staple when it come to albums and mixtapes and shit. Like that shit that's when I'm like, man, I'm a rapper. I'm doing this shit. Even when Clarity 1 dropped, I'm still iffy about it. Like, man, whatever, because I always thought bigger. You know, I'm telling myself like, shit, this is just Detroit. We ain't even got a population of no more than 800,000 people. So if everybody in the city of Detroit bought my shit, I still wouldn't be able to go platinum. So this ain't enough. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when Clarity 2 happened, it's like, man, I can do this shit. I'm gonna go worldwide. I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna be the biggest street artist in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in 2013, you dropped the Clarity 2, Money Phone comes out, everything is going well for you. Right around the same time, young Jeezy signs Doughboyz Cashout from Detroit.
Yeah.
And then a situation happened between HBK from Doughboyz Cashout and then you and Green Guy Webbo.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, tell me about what happened.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that shit just so much in the past, bro. Like, you know, we got over that shit. We buried that shit, like, and them niggas some real niggas, like, you know what I mean? I fuck with Payroll, I fuck with Kid, now I fuck with Kid. Keith's my nigga, like, my baby, you know, long live Rock. He passed, Snoop passed. It's just one of them situations, like Detroit, that type of city where, like, we can't dig too much in the past, because that shit, it might renounce new feelings or anything, but just out of respect for them niggas, like, them niggas got kids and wives and shit, like, you know what I mean? They watching this type of shit, like, I fuck with them niggas, bro. That shit in the past, like, you know what I mean? That shit out there, though.
There you have it. And we don't have to dig into that particular situation, but what I wanted to say was that in that next year, you end up doing a song with Doughboyz Cashout, right? Which was Detroit Over Everything?
Yeah, Payroll was on there. Yeah.
Right.
So I was in my feelings, I ain't gonna lie. Eminem had dropped that Detroit Over Everything shit, right? So for me, it was just like, just basing the niggas that was on the song, like, it was just weird. It was goofy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who the fuck? Who other than Dage, like, who on this bitch? Like, other than, like, Dage, I don't even know if Trick was on there. It just threw the whole city off, because it's like Eminem, homes don't even come outside. Like, for us to be so turned, like, I can name 30 rappers that's turned, and niggas done got deals and moved up and just blew up, all this type of shit. And we really grinded on a ground level for Detroit, making this shit happen. Can't no nigga and none of my peers ever say they met Eminem. And it ain't that he owe us nothing. Like, I always established that, like, buddy don't owe us nothing. He ain't gotta give us shit. Like, we grown men. He got his own family to take care of. But it's like, just like, you know, now that I'm getting older, I realize that all it takes sometimes is for me to take a listen to a young nigga music to keep him from out the streets. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know we ain't nobody parents and shit, but like, just that one little push, you never know, you might motivate the next president. Especially if you like, you got this type of, if that man made it, you know what I'm saying? That's real inspirational. He inspired all of us, you know what I mean? But it's just like, how fuck, we ain't never met, gang. We ain't never seen dude. None of this shit, like never, ever, none of us. So it's just like for him to, you know, jump up out the bed and go wherever he did to make the song and decide to make a Detroit over what is called Detroit versus everybody.
Right.
And decide to make a Detroit versus everybody was just confusing to all of us. And I just took the stance and I decided to speak up. Like, this can't happen, this ain't it. You ain't got the authority to speak on Detroit at all. He can't even name nothing that's going on in that motherfucker.
Well, the song had Eminem, of course, Royce, Big Sean, Danny Brown, Dej Loaf, and Trick Trick.
Well, yeah, Sean solid. Sean reached back. Sean done gave me, and this reminds you, we ain't looking at it, because we call that a soft press. We ain't on soft press no nigga that's from our city. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like Sean solid. Sean gave me songs. He did shit with Babyface. T Grizzly cashed out. He do shit he don't gotta do. We don't ask for this shit. And, you know, Royce the 5'9" as well. Like, Royce, and I know him and M partners, but like, Royce just a different type of dude than him. Royce tap in, he fuck with niggas, he show love, he shout niggas CDs out. So to rephrase what I said, for me, it was more the fact, like, how can you even think you can't put this together? You don't even know what Detroit is. You don't know who Detroit is. You don't even know. And there was so many niggas turned. Like, at that time, you had Dex Osama, you had me, you had Payroll, you had Peasy, motherfucking, like, it's just so many, it's Band Gang, it's just a bunch of niggas, like, a bunch of motherfuckers that was turned up, that we consider ourselves the real Detroit, that should have been on there. You know what I mean? Even the youngest, like Cash Kid, like, all them type of niggas, like. So we made our own, make a long story short, we made our own.
Well, what led up to you having, you know, one of the guys from Doughboyz, Cashout, on that song, considering sort of the issues you guys had before? Like, how did that get squashed to the point of you guys actually publicly putting out a song together? Ain't
nobody die from that shit. Ain't nobody get shot from that shit. None of that. Like, that type of shit be repairable. You know what I'm saying? Niggas bosses, we bosses. They gangsters, we gangsters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit ain't nothing. That's small things. Like, it be real smoke. You heard? Like, it be real smoke. That ain't smoke. That's not beef. That's rap shit. That ain't beef. So that type of shit always repairable. You can always come back from that. That ain't nothing. That's light. So as a real nigga and as a boss, I reached out. Look, we doing this. You supposed to be on there. I never discredit no nigga. Like, if I dislike a motherfucker or we got different opinions and shit, it ain't for me to discredit them. I wouldn't be no real nigga if I do that. You know what I'm saying? And I knew if I was doing this song, them niggas deserve to be on that bitch. That's a fact. Can't deny what they brought to the culture, to the city of Detroit. Can't deny the way they got and had or whatever it is they did. That shit is undeniable. So I'm a real nigga. I wasn't gonna do what M did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, later on, I think, was it maybe a year or two later, you had a picture with you and Jeezy, I think at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year, there's a song, Six Print, where you mentioned Jeezy.
Mm-hmm.
So explain the whole Jeezy thing to me.
I don't even know Jeezy. I ain't got no relationship with Jeezy. I just never let a nigga young Jeezy me. I feel like he let Gucci disrespect him as a man.
Oh, that's what you were talking about, the verses?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Ah, okay.
Man, nigga talking about, you know, I don't know they situation, they background story, so that ain't for me to speak on. I'm talking about what I seen at the verses. Dude, Watt was just, he was turned. Like, I feel like dude bossed down, I wouldn't have did that. I believe in that. Like, I like Jeezy music. I like what he stand for right now. You know what I mean? Dude married, he a businessman. He just, you know, he got a different mentality in a good way. You know, we need more mentalities like that, like street dudes who can, you know, change the way they think. Like, I respect that. That's what a boss is to me. But this situation, I was just speaking on as a man, like not a boss, not a rapper, not none of that. Like, as a man, I couldn't accept that. I gotta learn how to get to that point though. Like, you know, I admire that about him to where he able to brush that shit off and bury that shit. Like, I just gotta learn to get there, you know. As of now, I'm not there. I wouldn't know how to accept that.
Well, you're talking about Gucci mentioning Jeezy's homeboy who got killed during the home invasion.
I mean, just everything, just all the whole approach, just everything. Like, you seen that shit, Vlad. You know what I'm talking about.
I've seen it, but you know, I mean, I have a phrase called "act your wage," right?
Yeah.
And Jeezy is worth in the tens of millions of dollars now.
Absolutely.
You know, he's not a billionaire. I don't know if he's worth 100 million,
Absolutely.
but he's definitely in the tens of millions as long as he's been doing it.
Right.
And when you're at that financial level, you have so much to lose.
Yeah.
You know, that you can't just really emotionally react to anything.
I mean,
everything has to be well thought out.
It could have been verbal though. I'm not saying crash out and shoot that bitch up. It could have been verbal. I would have just stood like, hey, listen, we ain't doing that, my nigga. I don't know what you think this is. We not doing that. You got me fucked. Anything could have been verbal. And in a sense, like, I understand what you're saying, but that's what we got to teach the kids nowadays not to do. We can't let money be the base of our, you know, our morals. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't let money dictate our manhood or anything. I'm not saying have pride. Pride, being a man and having pride, that's two different things. That's two different situations. You know, pride is what we don't need. Like, being too prideful, you fall. Pride coming for the fall. We already know that. But being a man is a different thing. So I'm speaking from a person who got a son. I got a dick, bro. No homo. I got to be able to look at my son in the eyes and say, listen, son, this is what I did. I stood my ground. I didn't compromise the way you value me for the sake of my bank account or my net worth. Because in a sense, that's putting money over values. And that's not a man. You don't put money over values, you know. And anybody that think money everything, then technically they lost. Even if you're a billionaire, if you feel money is worth jeopardizing your mentality and, you know, your common morals and the way people like your son gotta see you, then you lost. Money ain't everything. I think it was J. Cole that said, it ain't as such as a lame millionaire. Like, that ain't, I don't agree with that. That's not the right mentality. We gotta learn how to stop valuing, how to putting money so high on a pedestal. Like, we put money where God supposed to be at. That pedestal we put money at, that's where God supposed to be at. I never see nobody speak so passionately about God than the way they speak about somebody's net worth or somebody's accessories. So in a sense, yeah, you got to think about what you got and all that in a sense, but at what point do you differentiate that? You get what I'm saying? At what point do you say, fuck the money, I'm a man. Fuck the money, I got a child. Fuck the money, I believe in what I stand for. When I say I wouldn't let that happen, I don't mean, I'm not a dummy, I ain't a fool, I ain't a kid. I'm not about to shoot the bitch up over no versus battle. Like, that's some young corny nigga shit. It's just verbal. Like, he got verbal, I get verbal back. I'm just a fair guy. I want to, you know what I mean? You get verbal, I want to be verbal. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, in that same year, 2014, you dropped the Clarity 3, Fully Blown.
Yes, sir.
And that actually hit the charts.
Damn, that bitch hit the charts.
Yeah, it hit the Billboard Heat Seekers chart.
That's hard. I swear to God, I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
Well, I did not know that. That's hard.
There you go. You got one more accolade to sit on now.
That's hard.
So here you are, completely independent, and you have this mixtape that actually, whether you know it or not, it's hitting the charts, but obviously you're feeling the effects of it, regardless of the Billboard chart.
Yeah, now I do know that. You know what I mean? That just, I'm more invested in the back end of my music now than I was then. Like, I didn't know what playlist ads was. I ain't know none of that shit. But now I'm fully aware and fully understandable what's going on. But y'all, Rich Off Pints definitely hit the chart. Made number 7. You know what I'm saying? On the Heat Seekers billboards. I actually got one of those billboard things.
Dope.
Yeah, that shit.
Dope. Well, you said by the age of 24, you had bought a restaurant, a car wash, and a dispensary.
I was actually 25.
25.
Yeah.
Okay. So you bought a restaurant. Well, what kind of restaurant was it?
A chicken spot called Chicken Talk.
Okay.
It was fire though. I'm gonna reopen. I'm gonna do a food truck when I relaunch it though this time. I ain't gonna have no brick and mortar.
Okay. And you had a car wash?
Yeah, called Iced Up Hand Wash.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. And a dispensary.
Called Dank Guys. The sign's still up. You riding, you in Detroit, you on the east side. It's pretty much like between 6 Mile and Houston Whittier or whatever. It's on the right-hand side coming from downtown. It's a big-ass sign that say Dank Guys. I named it Dank Guys because I call myself the drink guy. So I thought it was kind of like a simile.
Okay. Well, here you are. The music is building up. The mixtapes are getting bigger. You're invested into all these businesses, and then you get indicted on a gun charge.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this was 2016 when the indictment came?
I believe so, yeah, 2016.
Okay, now what was that case about?
Shit, it was a gun charge. It wasn't nothing about it. It wasn't nothing to be about. It's just that.
How did they catch you?
They motherfuckers caught me. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. Like, they caught me. I went to jail, did the times, public record. You know what I mean? I'm the only person on my caseload. All that.
Okay, so when they first arrested you and you were first getting charged, when you first got indicted, what was the time they were offering you?
Man, listen, I did the time for that motherfucker. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's just some giants you just don't poke. Like, we let them people be,
fair
bro.
enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Okay.
I do tell you this much, though. I got my paperwork. Like, my shit public record. You want to look it up, anybody go, whatever you want to go about that. One man and only nigga on my indictment. Like, you know what I mean? I can tell you much, I ain't tell, so that's all that matters.
Okay, so you end up getting convicted and you get 20 months?
Yes, sir. 20 months.
And when you're locked up, your businesses start to fail.
Man, them motherfuckers plummeted. Went down the drain, like, completely. Like, that shit was just over with. And I had it in my mind, like, you know what? When I go to jail and shit, this shit just my shit gonna take off. You heard, like, the business, but the motherfuckers ain't last 3 months. You know what I'm saying? It was hurting me more than it was helping me. Cause here I got a wife and 2 kids that I gotta take care of. You know, I'm young with these type of responsibilities, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got married as a shorty down there. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I gotta take care of them and these employees and these expenses. That shit just wasn't making sense to me at all whatsoever. So, you know, I had to shut that shit down. That was what's best for me and my family. You know, I figured I could either spend my time focusing on that shit, or I could spend my time focusing on myself. And I decided to choose myself.
Well, you said when you got locked up that you had to really reevaluate your life and think about, you know, whether you really loved your family.
Absolutely.
Because you're putting yourself in this position.
Exactly. I learned what love is. I say this shit every interview. I genuinely thought you can just love somebody just based on the way you feel about it. And I had to learn that that's not a fact. You know what I mean? Everything is an intention, but everything is an action. I learned that feeling that you get from love, that's just a reply from that action. You get what I'm saying? That's all that is. So I realized, like, ain't no way I love my family, cause I'm in jail and I'm in a hole. I'm still in this bitch, moving goofy, crashing out pretty much like. So I couldn't love my family. If I love my family, then I gotta do what's right for them. I gotta put them first, you know, put them before me. And I learned how to love them. I didn't know how to love them.
Well, you finally get out, and was it the whole 20 months you had to do?
Yeah, I done and did the whole 20 months because I went to the hole. See, like, and there, a year is only 10 months, right? So I had under 2 years pretty much. So I only really had to do like 17 months, but I ended up doing, no, I only had to do 15 months, but I ended up doing 18 because I went to the hole.
Yeah. Well, you get out, and I guess while you're still in a halfway house, you end up signing the deal with Motown?
Yeah, with Motown Records. Did that shit in a halfway house. My manager, Chanel, she had to fly to LA to basically get the shit done because I was in a halfway house, obviously. But I did that, you know what I mean? At that point, it's just like, man, I need to get some money. Like, one thing I ain't about to do is go to the streets. I ain't, fuck that shit. I'd rather be dead broke before I do any of that shit. You heard?
Okay, and were you the first rapper to sign to Motown?
No, the first Detroit rapper.
Detroit rapper, that's what I meant.
Yeah, absolutely. I was the first Detroit rapper to sign with them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm thinking my life just about to change when I did that shit. Like, you know, you got it in your mind, you know, where where we from, we just automatically feel like you go to the league, you rich, you there, you made it. You get a record deal, a major record deal, you made it. You know what I mean? But I learned that shit the hard way. That shit don't work nothing like that. You heard? I thought that shit was about to change everything about my life, but it just added more stress.
Okay, what do you mean by added more stress?
I mean, dealing with having to plot, like, you go by so many rules and just so much red tape and just so much nah, yeah. That shit just like, I can't do this shit. That shit gave me anxiety. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I'd rather do this shit on my own. I ain't gonna quit. I ain't quit. I never quit. I ain't gonna quit ever. Fuck if I had one fan. I ain't quitting nothing. So it's just like, I just gotta figure out do this shit on my own, you know? And it comes to a point where you bring business in your household, then that means you in the wrong kind of business. Motown did great business. My contract was good. That wasn't the problem. You get what I'm saying? It was just a miscommunication on how I need to be moved, or what I need to be doing, the type of music I like to put out. You know, my target market. Everything was just a little confusing. And at a point, that shit started making its way into my household. So that's when I'm like, I can't do this. I gotta figure this shit out. I gotta cut ties and do this shit on my own. You know what I mean?
Well, you talked about, and I wasn't exactly sure what the situation was about, but at one point, while you were signed to Motown, you ended up getting banned from different stations and clubs, or?
No, not when I was signing. No, that happened back in 2013.
Okay, that happened before.
Yeah, with the whole shit downtown at Cobo Hall, I got banned from everywhere. I couldn't go nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you talked about violating probation. Was that from before or after?
I'm well right now. Everything Gucci. I move like a boss. I move like a man. I'm standing on that business 10 toes. Like, I'm standing on my business. Like, I ain't ever worried about going to jail. Like, nigga, just move smart. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Okay. Well, you ultimately, did you leave your deal with Motown, or did they drop you, or what exactly happened?
No, I left my deal. Well,
okay.
I can't say left. Like, I don't want no artists be watching this shit think you just wake up and leave your deal. That shit don't work like that. I asked, can I, be let go out of my contract, and they made it happen for me. Like bosses. Like, I appreciate that. That shit don't happen like that. Like, that's why it ain't nothing bad I can say about them folks. Like, we had a good contract. When it didn't work out, I asked to remove myself, and they let me do it.
Yeah, that's the way you handle it. You know, you don't have to go and start bashing the label
Ain't
or
no
whatever
point.
else.
They ain't do nothing wrong to me.
Yeah.
All they did was try to help me. It just wasn't the kind of help I needed.
Right, because while you were on the label, that's when you had that Big Sean feature, and then that song that came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you guys were signed to the same label.
Well, technically, yeah, because Shine signed, we Universal, right?
Was through Universal, right? It's part of the same family.
Yeah.
Right.
Same brother.
Right, and you talked about how, like, you have an artist as Big Sean, and he's doing the single with you, and he's doing the music video with you, but that song doesn't end up getting as big as some of the songs you're doing with just other local Detroit
I knew that
artists.
shit wasn't gonna be big because the song was a good song. I just knew it wasn't gonna be it. We did a video the wrong way. We supposed to shoot that bitch in the hood. That's just how it supposed to went. Like, we both from the city. We gotta show Detroit. We in the motherfucking sky on a rope. Motherfucking snow's flying. All this type of silly ass shit. The video was fire. It just wasn't meant for that song. They got a nigga walking across a tightrope. Bunch of goofy ass shit, bro.
Right. And while you're on Motown, that's when the Clarity 6 mixtape came out.
Yeah. That bitch came out. That mixtape actually did decent. It did pretty good. It just I wasn't feeling myself then though. Like I had so many distractions. It's like it's them phases in life. You know, you go from having distractions because shit, you know, maybe a person might be in the streets, they might be, you know, involved, and them be the distractions. Then you upgrade. So now my distractions is me learning how to be a better father, a better husband, you know, going about which way I need to raise my kids and, you know, these bills and this approach in our future, college tuitions, you know, health insurance, life insurance, planning this shit out. It's like, you know, that next phase of my life has started at that time. You know what I mean? So those are my distractions.
Well, that next year, 2019, you dropped the Champions Mixtape and the Robin Season mixtape.
No, Champions was a single. That bitch.
Oh, that was a single.
I dropped that the same month as me and Big Sean dropped our song. That bitch like plummeted. Like just that song went so crazy. Like it fucked over me and Sean shit.
Right, that had the Queen sample on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, you know we couldn't get that bitch clear, so we had to keep it gangster in the street.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, man, the ticket on that must have been crazy.
Man, it ain't them people. Come on, man. They not. Hell no, bro. Man, Queen ain't no Queen. I don't see no Queen sample being cleared, especially like after Bohemian Rhapsody dropped. Like,
yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury, that nigga, like him and Michael Jackson, they won.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Man, a legend.
Right, and then 2020, you dropped Robin Season 2.
Yeah.
That had a sit down with Babyface Ray on it.
Yeah, that song went viral.
You and Babyface Ray seem like you guys have been rocking for a while.
We from the same hood. Yeah.
There you have it.
We knew each other since we was shorties. Like, I'm a few years older than Ray, so like I knew him since he was we both were shorties, but you know what I mean? Like we grew up together. Like it's my young partner right there.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him for an interview. I just don't think we have the right context.
I'm gonna get it done, brother. Say less.
There we go. There we go. Okay, and then the Drank Baby mixtape came out.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of features. That had Dej Loaf, 42 Doug, who's going crazy right now. Then you got Mozzie from Sacramento.
Yeah, Mozzie was on that motherfucker.
And Yo Gotti's on it.
Yeah, Gotti was on that.
Was that like the first time you really try to get a bunch of like bigger features on your projects like that? Or?
Yeah, that was the first time I did that shit. Like where I pulled my own muscle. Like you get what I'm saying? Where there wasn't no label involved, and there probably wasn't no clearances for real. Like just getting it, just working my hand. You know, I'm a hustler. Like so, nigga just worked his hand and got a lot of good features.
Yeah,
we ain't go through no label for none of them verses.
Okay. Okay. And then this year, Rich Off Pints comes out.
Yeah.
ESTG's on it.
Yeah, that's my.
Lil Yachty, Trippie Redd.
Yeah.
So once again, you got a lot of strong features on it.
Just working my hand, man. Just working my hand.
And then where things are, I'm starting to see how, you know, things have kind of culminated.
Coming together.
You got Tear the Club Up with Future on it.
Yeah, that's my partner right there. That's my nigga.
Right, and you guys redid the 3 6 Mafia song.
Well, it's not they beat. We just kind of...
Well, the chorus.
The chorus, yeah. I like that type of music. I like that, just that gutter, ratchet, just, you heard heavy bass, shit sound like we did it in the basement type music. That's my flow.
Yeah, I mean, Crunchy Black's a regular on my show, DJ Paul, I talk to him all the time. Yeah. Like, it's really, like, as I get older, it really hits me how many people have like redone 3 6 Mafia songs or
that
sampled
Money
their
Phone
beats
was they beat. Money Phone.
Yeah, see, there you go.
That was they beat. I'm a huge fan of 3 6 Mafia though. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you really could say they're one of the most influential hip hop groups of all time in terms of how many people like borrow their shit. I
don't think people like really appreciate that about them, but them people definitely influential. Big influence. Oh, yeah. This whole trap sounding like culture in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Just it's all about that bass right now. Them boys kind of laid that blueprint down in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Them and Master P.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how did you get Future on the song?
I just fuck with gang. Like we all got mutual. Actually, you know what? Like my little brother GT introduced me in Pluto. Shout out to GT. He introduced him. We just been rocking. Like a lot of music that I be doing be organic. Like I don't be wanting that shit to be so cooked up and just so professional. You know what I mean? Of course, we always take care of that business on the back end, but you know what I mean? I like that organicness. And that ain't nothing where I'm like, hey bro, you do this song? None of that shit. Like we just in the studio playing songs and I did a verse. He just jumped on that motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like when shit happen like that.
Well, and then what's your biggest song right now on Spotify is Up the Skull with Lil Durk.
Up the Skull. Shout out to Smirk.
How did that come together?
Same way. Just in the studio, rapping, recording. I sent that bitch to him and he sent it right back. And we just linked up and did the video. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like I feel like everything just falling in place right now. When it ain't no, it ain't no effort in making certain shit happen that somebody else will have to go through 1 million people and cut 1 million corners for. I'm just walking across the street. You know what I'm saying? So that for me, that's how I know it's meant for me right now. It's gonna be my time. Like right now, I'm gonna turn it up.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing it. I mean, in terms of how big the features are, was really the biggest artist in the game right now.
You can say that and shit.
You're talking about Durk and Future. I mean, that's really upper echelon these days.
Nah, that's hard. Man, Lil Baby dropping next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw him commenting on one of your Instagram posts.
Baby, a real nigga. I ain't gonna lie, I just mainly fuck with dudes who do shit because they want. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's better when you ain't like, for one, you gotta respect the business. Like, even if niggas be like, throw me this, like, I'm gonna do it. Like, these niggas big artists. I ain't one of them type of niggas. Like, I respect the business, but niggas just be solid, bro. Like, niggas solid. Like, Baby do a lot of shit for a lot of folks. Like, he turn niggas up. And that nigga he don't gotta do it, and he know he ain't gotta do it. Ain't no nigga press that, man. He ain't none of that going on. He do shit cause he want to. That go for all three of them though. Like, them niggas do what they wanna do. You know what I'm saying? I know them niggas, them niggas turn money down. They don't fuck with how, you know what I'm saying? They turn that shit down, whatever. Like, I just gotta align myself with people who don't overvalue money. But we know our worth, but we don't overvalue money, over-evaluate money. You know, money really ain't everything.
Yeah, man, congrats. I mean, with 3 big features like that, you had the Breakfast Club recently. When I saw that, I'm like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. He's turning up right now.
Man,
like I said, I've been seeing you for so many years. Like, I've been seeing the name pop up on my timeline and on my playlist, and it's like, okay, now he's really finally getting into his own at this point. He's finally getting into his groove.
Yes, sir. Just gotta keep it going. Stay humble though. Like, You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, I don't never really be looking at that shit like it's something. Like it's so easy to let shit go to your head. That shit is easy. So, you know, I just be trying to stay grounded and just weave through that shit and just keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Just keep working, keep grinding, and pray.
There was an Instagram post with you and your wife, and the caption said, "I told her 10 years ago I'm gonna make her a millionaire. Instead, I made her a multi-millionaire." Stood on tall business.
Facts.
So explain what that means.
At one point, you know, other than my mama and like my brothers, you know, your family gonna always believe in you. So I never doubted how they felt. Like my brother Therese and Rick and Calvin and Smoke and Jamar, all them, like I never doubted them. You feel me? My mama, of course, but you know, at one point, she was one of the only people that believed in me. Like, you know, her and my brother Sean and Webbo, like they was the only folks that believed in me. So it's like, imagine how this, try to imagine this. You 17, you 16, you got a 16-year-old, not you, but you know, it's a 16-year-old girl. She got a 16-year-old boyfriend. He in the streets, he wild, ain't got no sense, just doing anything, don't give a fuck about nothing, ain't got no money, ain't got no job, ain't got no license, ain't in school, nothing going for himself. And he asked this girl, "Baby, can I get a couple $100? I need to go to the studio." She give you the money. The next day, "Babe, I need some weed. Can you buy me some weed?" Give you the money. "I need to, you know, you take me to my probation office to report. Can I drop you off at work?" You gonna tell your baby, like, you need to leave him. But I'm telling her, this shit gonna pay off. We gonna make it. This shit gonna pay off. Cause I didn't take advantage of her. She not a fool. But she genuinely believed in the shit that I was saying. You know, I'm telling her, like, we gonna be millionaires. When we get older, we gonna be worth multi-millions. This same woman that's paying for the McDonald's meal though, we in the drive-thru. I got lint in my pocket. And she like, "No, this shit gonna happen. I can't wait. Like, what we gonna buy? We gotta get a big crib. Like, I can't wait till you get your Rolls Royce. This shit coming." You feel what I'm saying? She genuinely believed in that shit. And she stood on that business. And I stood on my business. Absolutely every single thing that I told her I would buy her, I bought it. Everything. It ain't nothing that she don't got that I told her I wouldn't get. And she her own boss at that. She still got her own money saved up. She graduated. She went to college. She did this shit the right way. I never was able to influence her to do otherwise. You get what I'm saying? She did her shit the right way, but I just think back on them moments like, ain't no way I'm like my daughter. If I know my daughter got this type of situation, this young nigga got lint, ain't got no money, and my baby paying for everything, giving him money, and he looking my baby right in the eye saying, "We gonna be married, I'm gonna buy you a mansion." She gotta, man, what is you doing? You ain't, she's like, it's unbelievable. She believed in the shit that I was saying. She really believed in it just as much as I believed in it. That shit count for something. It count for everything. My teachers told me I wouldn't be shit. A lot of people did. I was a piece of shit at one point. I was terrible. I was a fucked up nigga.
Yeah, man. I would have to say women are the reason I'm successful right now. Having a strong woman around, and just women in general, having women around in various positions.
That's a fact. That's why my manager a woman.
Yeah.
Chanel, my manager, she a woman. Like, they just responsible. You know what I mean? They appreciative. Like, they stand on business. They stand on business. I procrastinate. She don't procrastinate. She just standing on shit. You feel me?
Congrats, man. I think a lot of people try to take, say that they're the reason why they're so successful by themselves. But in all the thousands of interviews I've done, very rarely do I meet a man who's made it to a place without a woman by his side. You know what I mean? Very rarely. That's a fact. Very rarely. I mean, yeah, you have the 50 Cents out there that are sort of anomalies.
50 got a woman, though. He got a shorty. He ain't married. But
now he does, but as he was becoming a millionaire,
for sure.
Yeah, he kind of didn't. I'm saying that's why 50 is a bit of an anomaly. But outside of 50, when you look at damn near anyone else, there's always a wife or a serious girlfriend or something of that sort in their corner, you know, because as you're going through shit, I mean, I just think of me personally, like, there's so much dumb shit I would have done if I didn't run it by a woman first.
Right.
And have them tell me that it was a stupid idea and just to not do anything.
Man, you want to know something? Not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Before I went to prison, I was kicking it with Kevin Gates and shit. I was at his crib or whatever. And he asked me, like, how long you been with your old lady? And I told him. He like, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Like, you ain't got to listen to me, but I'm going to tell you something that I know for a fact. He say, man, if that woman good, if she a good woman, she with you and she believe in you, marry that woman. Watch how your life change. I thought he was crazy. That shit was real. That's some of the best advice I ever got from anybody. Kevin Gates told me that. He said, marry that woman. Watch your life change. That was the exact words he said. And I didn't marry her because he asked me to. I'm just, you know, I just thought back on that once we did. You know what I mean? I just see the way everything go. It's just, we blessed.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you guys actually own a bunch of property in Detroit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of it. I don't be letting people know it's mine because motherfucker be like, oh, that's Vezzo, he don't need this rent money. Like, I just make it affordable for people. That's what I can do. You know, I just try to play my part as much as I can. You know, if the house is over there going for $1,200 a month, I might do it for $700. You know what I mean? It's a big ass house. Just make it affordable, but I stay anonymous on, you know, I own houses people live in that probably don't even know it's mine. I own shit that I forget I even own.
There you have it. There you have it. Well, my last question, you had an interesting comment in one of the interviews, and you said every street code has been broken in the rap game.
Absolutely.
And you look at 2021, and for example, you know, I'm 48. I would have never thought that someone could publicly snitch on everybody around them, come back and be a successful rapper, but that's what's happened.
That's a fact.
You know, I mean, with the Tekashi situation, and I don't think he's going to be the last one to do this. You know, I think there's going to be other people who cooperate and become popular. You know, when you said that, how did you feel about that statement?
That's what I meant. Like, every rule have been broken. You got niggas that's rapping that told. And they did. Like, ain't no way around it. Niggas told. You got niggas that's rapping that's attracted to the opposite gender, and you know, and ain't nothing. I mean, somebody like
you mean the same gender? You mean?
Same, yeah. I mean, I'm same gender. You know, and ain't nothing. That ain't even nothing that I would be judgmental over. Like, I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm not. I don't care about. You get what I'm saying? That shit don't mean nothing. I know I talk to anybody, bro. I don't care how you look, how you dress, who you like, what's your type. I don't care. I ain't. You know, some people just be good people, bro, and it just is what it is. Like, so ain't for me to do. But we talking about rap, right? So, you know what I mean? It's just been broken. You got those that just is running with 1 million niggas just to get to the top. You heard? You got niggas leaving the people who really stuck beside them, that's really with them, that genuinely love them, genuinely want the best for them, cutting them off and going fuck with some niggas who don't give a fuck about them. It's just a bunch. I can go on for days. Absolutely every code in the streets has been broken in the rap game. That's why they not the same. They two different things. But the consequences and what come, the same shit that come with shit in the streets, it come with rapping now. So the consequences are the same. You know what I mean? The outcome is kind of the same in a sense, but that shit is over with. You know, streets burnt out overall though. Fuck that shit. If you want to get some money, take care of your family. That shit is burnt out. That shit burnt out.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hinted on Lil Nas X. For years we used to say, I used to say in my interviews, there's going to be a popular gay rapper who's going to be outward, who's going to be out in the open, and he's going to have hit songs, and it just is what it is. I mean,
just life,
fast
bro.
forward, Lil Nas X has a bunch of hit songs. Nas has a song with him.
Yeah, I mean,
At
the end of the day, I think like if everybody just focus on who they are, and it should go different. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think like as artists, we gotta stop. We ain't gotta speak on you move how you move. You know what I'm saying? I focus on more we'll never be perfect. It's only one entity is perfect, and that's God. But I work every day to make myself better and perfect what it is I'm doing. I ain't gotta worry about what another nigga doing. He ain't in my circle. He ain't in, you heard? Like, but I would hope that if it, like, I fuck with real niggas. Like, if you're a real nigga, I just would hope you work better in it, being better for yourself. And that might come with not doing this, not doing that, not being around this, not being around that, cutting his people. You get what I'm saying? If we all focus on that, then it'll be a shit'll just be smoother. It wouldn't be so many complaints. We just gotta focus on our household individually, one at a time. And I think, a lot of shit wouldn't even be a conversation. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the reality is that in 2021, hip hop is pop, right?
Facts.
When you look at the most popular music all around the world, in America, in Europe, you go to Russia, you go to China now, you go to France, hip hop is always at the top of the charts.
That's why I made a caption the other day and said, I don't make hip hop. I'm not a hip hop artist. I'm not no hip hop. I'm not a hip hopper. I make rap music. I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
I make music for the streets. We two different niggas.
Right. But if you talk about hip hop as a whole, it's become pop music. So you're gonna have people who really don't follow whatever blueprint was laid out initially when it was really more street-oriented music. You see what I'm saying? It just isn't anymore. Lil Nas X has nothing to do with the streets. Tekashi clearly has nothing to do with the streets when push came to shove. And the fans that are young kids, they don't really give a shit about all these rules and so forth.
They don't. I mean, all is well. I just focus on myself.
It is what it is.
You heard?
Yeah, some of your fans care about street codes and snitching and whatever else, but a lot of them are, middle class kids from middle America who really just like the songs.
They don't care about that shit. That's why I don't that shit. Certain shit ain't even to be discussed when it's a hip hop conversation. I'm not even about to discuss the streets with a nigga that's not even anyway. So you get what I'm saying? I'm not even about to try to sell this type of music to these folks. That's not even for you. You wouldn't even understand this shit. So it just is what it is. You know what I mean? If motherfucker like that music, they like the music. Just focus on yourself, make yourself better, and stand on your business. I stand on my business.
There you have it. Icewear Vezzo, man. This is our first time talking, and what I'm speaking to is a mature man who has taken care of his responsibility, takes care of his family, took responsibility for his past mistakes.
Yeah,
doesn't sidestep them and say that he got set up or it was unfair. He's like, nah, I made these mistakes. I fucked up. I learned from the mistakes. And when I got a chance to get into a position again, I did things differently. And I was more mature and I was more mindful. And it sounds like independently, you have a good business and you have a growing business and you have a strong foundation, man. And that's what I love to see when I interview people.
Man, I appreciate that. It mean a lot, bro. Thank you for having me. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. You know what I mean? Rich off Plains 2. It's coming soon. It's up.
That's what it is. Next time I want to do the interview where you have the huge international hit.
It's
the
coming.
multi-platinum hit.
Give me 1
Talking
month.
about, yeah.
Give me 1
Okay.
month.
Yeah, maybe after the Lil Baby feature comes out,
Give me
that
1
might be
month.
the one.
Vlad, it's up. We doing it. You heard?
That's what it is. Icewear Vezzo, man. Until next time.
Thank you, man.
Peace.
Yeah, peace.